So Isvara Pranidhanam, or devotion to the all-knowing Isvara, is another method for obtaining samadhi. It is the emotional path, which is easier than the other methods mentioned before. Just surrender yourself unto him, saying, I am thine, all is thine, thy will be done. The moment you have resigned yourself completely, you have transcended your own ego.
Today we will continue on our wonderful study of Sri Patanjali and the Yoga Sutras. And today's topic is basically going to be focused on Isvara Pranidhanam, which is surrender to the divine, whatever you want to call it, consciousness, God, whatever. Last week we finished at the 8 limbs of yoga, which we covered. And in order to have a peaceful mind, we said we have to practice yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and finally we come to a place called samadhi, which means peace. The peace that surpasses all peace. The peace beyond human understanding. Now you can't even talk about that. Swami Satchidananda says, you can't even talk about it because when you are there, you're no longer here. And all of us who live on this earth, you understand what I mean by that. While you're on this earth, everything is so confusing. Right, left, in, out, etc. So Sri Patanjali, after telling us, okay, our goal in this life is to, really our human mission is to know that we are divine. Like Moses asked God, who are you? And he goes, I am that I am. Once you recognize that you are divine and part of the cosmic plan, then what happens? Then you relax in this painful life and you accept many more things. Because what happens? You realize you're eternal. You realize that your body is on loan. You realize that your time here is short. So you definitely will not waste it on worthless things. Instead, give your time to better our world, to make it a more peaceful place, or better your life, better your situation. Follow your dream. Even that is better than doing nothing. So here Sri Patanjali tells us, and we're going back to Book 1, Sutra 21. And this is why I love this science. It's so open, it's so loving, it's so non-judgmental. It gives you your chance to find that mission, that God, that consciousness, the way you choose to. And it's no institution, no organization. Once you understand that from within, nobody can take that truth away from you. And when you have that truth and that connection to God or the divine or understanding, then you have great strength to face all the challenges you will face, because we are really in what we call Kali Yuga at the moment, but ending. It is ending. And Kali Yuga, they say there are 4 ages: the age of truth, the age of production, and Kali Yuga is the worst one, where brothers fighting against brothers, sisters fighting against sister. There's wars everywhere. And we can see that in the world at the moment. Simple things, people are not saying please, thank you. Service has gone out of the window. And the whole aspect of every tradition is serve, love, give. Every tradition. Every tradition. And yet we're losing it. It's all greed, greed, greed. But the interesting thing is, with all the greed, nobody's happier. And the people who are the ones that are practicing greed are the least happy. They're constantly worried about losing what they have. Constantly. So you can imagine how horrible it must be to live in such a mind. But we're going to change all that, aren't we?
Yes.
Aren't we? We're going to change all that. Only by changing ourselves. So how do we achieve this? So going back to Book 1, Sutra 21, Sri Patanjali tells us, to the keen and intent practitioner, this samadhi meaning nirvana, in a state of everythingness, which can't be explained, this samadhi comes very quickly. The time necessary for success further depends on whether the practice is mild, medium, or intense. So here he's telling us, okay, if you really want this peace so badly, it's up to you. If you want to know your mission on earth and who you are and that you are much more than this body, it's up to you. And if you are keen and intent practitioner, I love that word, practitioner. Because people think they meditate 1 hour a day and that's it, or 5 minutes and I've done one good deed and that's it. No. You have to practice because the mind is so dense. It's so full of thoughts, you know, right? The moment, so many thoughts run through your head a day, 8 billion, how much is it? So, when you're so tired of all that noise, so tired of all the anger, all the unjust things that happen on our earth, then there will come to a point when you realize, you know what? Nothing is in my control. Nothing. The only things in my control is how to achieve peace, how to live with it in peace. That's in my control. That's our gift. That's our spiritual gift. And then when you realize that, and then you start to become very keen, you know, become very keen, and then you want to practice, and it depends on you how you practice. So you practice more, you get it quickly. You practice less, it takes longer. Sri Patanjali tells us in Sutra 14, Book 1, he says you have to practice for a long time without a break and with all your heart. Some people practice, but they keep breaking. You know, one day yes, one day no. Wishy-washy. It's like anything you do in life. Remember, anything you do in life, the more you do it, what happens? The better you become. That's why if I ever see a doctor, I'd like to see a doctor who's been practicing for quite a lot of years, but at the same time, very nouveau, studying what is new, what is happening in the world. That's the kind of doctor I would choose. So I choose, one who's allopathic and also naturopathic, that can marry the two worlds because, they have experience, right? This is how I choose. Otherwise, I won't go. Because nowadays, as you know, as soon as they get their degree, they're in an office. And I don't mean to say this wrongly, but I don't think when you go to a doctor, they see you. They look at the computer. I don't know if you've seen this. And I had to ask the doctor, but you didn't check my lung. How do you know? The old days, asthmatic, first thing they do, well, let's check your lung, check your stomach, see if all the organs, pat, everywhere, right? Reflexes, everything they would check. Check your ears, check your eyes, at least when I was young. Check your nose. Now you go to the doctor, no checking. Check the computer. As if the computer knows me. Isn't it true? So I think this all has to change. We have to bring it back to caring for the human, looking at the whole being, not just the science, but the whole being. Because without understanding the being, you can't heal the person. So this is why a lot of us have learned that. So this is why you can see there's a great change happening. More and more people are taking responsibility for their own health. There's lots even though it's a terrible time on our earth, it's also a beautiful time on our earth because so many people are waking up to this, right? And so many people now will tell me, oh, the doctor recommended this, but not only before I get the medication, I'm going to Google it. And I'm going to see what alternatives I can have rather than put all these chemicals in my body. Wisdom. But I said, even with alternatives, you also have to know if you're allergic to them or not. So if you're going to get something, do get an expert in the field that will know, because there's some herbs you may be allergic to, and just don't take everything for granted. So something may look very pretty, but may affect you differently from everybody else. So know yourself. Okay, so here Sri Patanjali is really encouraging us to know our spiritual self. He's really telling us, okay, you practice, you will get the answers. And then he tells us in Sutra 23, or samadhi, that elevated state, is attained by devotion with total dedication to God, Isvara. Now, lots of people today don't believe in God because of all the wars, but God did nothing. It's mankind who did it. In fact, my master sometimes would make me laugh. He would say, Nalanie, everything is divine. Turn the word God around and you got dog. God is everywhere. Yes, everywhere. And do you know the God and dog story? Do you know the dog and God story? No, you don't. So I will tell it again. For the people who know it, forgive me. There was this man who prayed every day, and he went in front of his temple and he said, oh God, every day I pray, when will I see you? When will I see you? I really want to see you. I want to see you so badly. And when he heard a voice, he said, young man, tomorrow at noon, I will come to your house and I will see you. Are you sure? I will see you tomorrow. So, of course, he got very, very excited, told all his neighbors, tell them right away, something so holy he couldn't keep to himself. So he invited them all for a feast, and he said, come at 11:45, because God is coming to my table at midday. All sat down, 12 o'clock, there was a scratch on the door. So the man opens the door, and there he sees this dog, really emaciated and really thin, and he goes, stupid dog, go away, don't you know God is coming? And he tells the dog, shoos the dog away. I said, God is coming. Really? God is coming? Again, there's a bigger bang on the door. He opened the door, and again there was this dog. And he starts to kick the dog. Are you crazy to be here? And close the door. A few minutes later, again the dog came. So this time he took the stick and he beat the dog up. And the dog went yelping away. And all his friends, ha ha ha, you said God was coming and all you got was a mangy dog. Ha ha ha. So much for your God that you talk about. So they all left. And the man, when he went to his prayer room, he was like distraught. How could you tell me and promise me this and then not turn up, God? How could you do this to me, your favorite disciple, the one who loves you so much? And then he heard a voice and he said, I came to you 3 times, my son. I came to you 3 times. First time you shouted at me. Second time you kicked me. Third time you took a stick and you hit me. So, where is God? What is God? And how is God? Now, Sri Patanjali gives the name Isvara to this God, okay? I love the name. For me, it's just pretty. Isvara. And then he continues to tell us. And now this, when I read it, I was like, 30 years ago, I was totally lost. 35 years ago when I read it. It says, Isvara is the supreme Purusha, unaffected by any afflictions, actions, fruits of actions, or by any inner impressions or desires. And I said, what? God's not interested in me. Because what it's saying here is, God is the supreme soul, not affected by afflictions. Not affected. God is not affected. Actions, fruits of actions, or by any impressions of or desires. And we're taught. We're so important, we're taught that God listens to each and every one of us. It does. I say it does. But not in the way that I thought. Not in the way I thought. That, always asking for things. In fact, then I started to do my research when I read this. And then I started to see, oh, God is just love. God is just there like a power station. Gives us everything we need. But we are the instrument. We're the instrument. So I thought many things. Then I thought, oh, one analogy is like an orchestra, right? You need all the different instruments to make that beautiful sound. So we are the participants with the divine. So, but it is not affected by our good deeds or negative deeds. And how did I understand that again? I studied the New Testament. And this is one I love to quote when Peter asked Lord Jesus, how many times do we forgive? And he goes, 70 by 7. Does not your Father in heaven do more for you every day? So I start to realize this God's loving, forgiving. So it is our actions that give us the reactions in our life. What we sow precisely is what we reap. That's what we reap. We must have sown it somewhere to reap this. All it does is give us light. And the Bhagavad Gita chapter 12 talks about devotion, all about devotion. And it says, those who are devoted to me do not have anger, have forgiveness, are not filled to, listen to these words, not filled with guilt, worry, anger. And how many of us have guilt? How many of us have worry? How many of us don't even start to forgive ourselves? Forget about the world. Where do we start? And I go, oh my God, there's just so much work here to do. So we can understand God by only practicing ourselves on ourselves, because when you're alone, what are the thoughts that surround you? When you're alone in your bed, you're alone with your thoughts. So if your thoughts are divine, you will be feeling divine. If your thoughts are full of worry, you're going to be full of worry. Nothing, God didn't do it to you. You can't say, God, why did you make me like this? Yeah, why? For you to get over yourself, basically. And that's what I heard to me. Get over yourself. You know, get the job at hand done. It's not all about you. And my new therapy that I'm working on called Axiom, it's X, the selfish I, and merge into Om, because we're all Om. We're all one unit, one consciousness. Physics is talking about the unified field. Come on, guys, let's wake up. Right? So there is this no God punishing us or telling us we're wrong, we're bad. We do it all to ourselves, and we do it to all. We do it to our world. We do it to our world. So how do we? So what's the point of prayer? So these are the questions I asked, you know. Why should I pray then? Because prayers, as my master taught me, are strong, powerful thoughts. They're strong, powerful thoughts. Better to say a prayer than a curse. Better to say a prayer and feel you're helped, because you feel you helped when your prayer. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. My master changed. I said, Lord, I am. Can you say, I am an instrument of your peace? Can you say it loud? I am an instrument of your peace. Where there is darkness, I will bring light. Will you? Where there's darkness, I will bring light. Where there is hatred, I will bring love. Where there's despair, I will bring hope. And that's the work, and it's not an easy job, because if you're miserable in yourself, you can never bring hope to somebody else. So you have to be the example of that hope. And when you start working that way, your mind gets so clear, because you're not thinking all those crazy thoughts. And when you get clear, you can transmit love, because you can feel that all this mind stuff is just mind stuff that belongs to this earth, belongs to this lifetime, that one day you'll let all of it go anyway. All of it's going to leave you anyway. So what are you left with? What are you left with? And when you understand that, the search for peace becomes intense. The search for God becomes intense. The real meaning of God. And then you realize the only real meaning can be understood in your very own heart. Nobody can do this for you. Nobody can do it for you. But when you're in a group, and this is what we call satsang, when we're in a group of truth, of the highest truth, then you recognize it. You recognize it. You remember, I am soul, I am spirit. And that's why we're here all the time, every Wednesday, to remind you this. You know, I am soul, I am spirit. I'm spending so much time being miserable about all these small things. I need to enrich myself. My time is going quick. How can I enrich myself? And for me, the richest place you can be is in your soul, and comfortable in the soul, and feel the divine love within you, and be in samadhi like that. You can be in peace like that. Everything can be falling apart. Never was mine anyway. And this is Isvara. And of course, you please do all the studying I did and all the questioning I did, and because with all that questioning, all my doubts went. And I know with all my heart and soul that God is in every single soul. Sometimes my personality may forget it as Nalanie, but my soul, my spirit knows. And that is so important to live with. And as me, all of us, but we get distracted by life, and then we blame God, or we blame the divine consciousness, or we do the other thing. We try and do all these positive affirmations, and affirmations are good. I'm not saying they're wrong. But if you don't feel them and you don't know the source of them, then it's not going to work. Yes, it'll help you to get better, but for a little while, then you go back to your own old ways. So really, it's to heal yourself inside out. And here he's saying, an easy way to do it is fill your heart with devotion to God. Because as human beings, it is too hard for us to imagine this unmanifested source of love. It's too hard. This is why you have all the traditions, all the religions. That's why people want Shiva or Buddha or Jesus or Moses or whatever you want. It's because it's too hard. But if you can see a figure, or you can see something that you can relate to, then it's easier, right? That's why we love to love each other, because then it awakens, and that's why we were born to love, to feel this magnetic love that is so vast that no words can even speak of. That's what we were born to have within all the pain, because we know the pain is temporary. It's temporary. It's really like a game, snakes and ladders, you know. Throw the dice. Get a wrong number, you come down again, and then throw it again. Eventually, everybody wins. Eventually, everybody wins. Everybody is a winner. Some take faster, some take slower, but everybody is a winner. So, my father also used to say, the shortcut is just fill your heart with love for God, however you feel it. Start with something manifest, if it's easier for you, manifest. Sri Patanjali will give you a lot of examples as we go along. Start with anything that makes you feel happy. Start with that. And devote yourself. And then at the same time, work on, okay, what am I always complaining about in my mind? What am I always wanting that I can't find? And then, it's hard to give up desires, and we're not asking people to give up desires, because life is no fun if you don't have any desires. All we are saying is choose the desires that don't disturb your mind. And you have desires that disturb your mind, disturb and make you feel crippled, then please get all the help to drop them. Difficult to do, but if you aim at the highest desire of peace, peace is my God, love is my God, then if you practice in time, those other things will be boring. You won't need them anymore. Realize there is a higher power. Realize there is a higher power. Only then can you be healed. Only then. And where does it live? Where does it live? Where is the kingdom of heaven? Within. What did God say to Moses? I am that I am. All the time telling us, what did Lord Jesus say? They will know you as my brother and sister by the way you love each other. Hello, called us brothers and sisters. Get up and become those brothers and sisters. That's what we need to do, Not, oh, I can't. If you can't, who can? Nobody will do it for you. Nobody can take you there. And that's one thing I really want to stress. I can guide, the teachers can guide, and we are there for that. To be that pillars that you can use. But ultimately, you've got to do it for yourself. And that's why this center was built, precisely for that. Whenever you feel lost, come home. And when you don't need us, it's fine also. Nobody's obligated to be here. Because the search is so personal. It is so powerful. And it is also sometimes like a razor's edge, as they describe it. It is. It's scary sometimes to let go of all the things that you are attached to. It's scary. That journey is a little dark sometimes. And they call it the dark night of the soul. It's really scary. And that's why the teacher's around to help you. It's scary when you first feel your body, when you feel the kundalini moving up and the body is shaking, when you're talking about something spiritual start to shake, that is the spirit getting strong. If you don't understand it, you think it's something scary, but it's actually not. It's a sign that oh my God, you're growing spiritually. You realizing you are prana. We are basically prana, energy, chi. We are that. It's recognizing that when these things happen, not being afraid of them. But if you have no teacher and if you have no guide, what happens? You think something really weird is happening to me. One of the students asked the other day, this is happening to me. I'm getting these feelings. Wonderful. When I get them at night, I know I'm being healed. So God has come to heal me. It's like a whirling in your heart or wherever you're not so well. It's really quite cool. Then you realize the system is magnetic because we're electrical. We really are electrical. You just look at your body and you can see all the nerves. They look like wires, We're not much different from a computer. Only much, much better than the best computer you can ever find. But yet we don't use this computer to get to the goal. We give our power away constantly. And poor God always gets blamed. Oh God, I asked you for this, you didn't give to me. No, as you sow, you reap. Work on your guilt, work on your fear, work on your anxiety, work on your worry, work on those. Why do you feel those things? If all this is going to come to a dead end one day, what do you need to do? Lift yourself by yourself. Bhagavad Gita also. You are your best friend. You are also your worst, you all tell me, enemy. What do you prefer? Life is too short. That's the only choice we have. No other choice. Life is too short. You want to spend time complaining for the rest of your life? Good luck to you. Don't worry, you'll get another lifetime. But this lifetime, we got a good body. Don't waste it. Don't waste it. I love it when you laugh. Makes me happy. So that's what Sri Patanjali says about, this is what Sri Patanjali says about Isvara. And then he says, explaining God even a little further. And this sounds a bit complicated. 25. In him is the complete manifestation of the seed of omniscience. Hello, what does that mean? Him is with a capital H. Of course, they just use that for convenience. Him, but it could be it. It's an energy. If God is everything, it's the mountains, the air, it's the planets, it's the so many solar systems, it's the galaxy. But they use him for convenience. Okay, people, oh, they said him. Remember, it's vast, too vast for you to understand. So they just use it because we have to use words. Now, and I'd love to read to you my master's translation because it's so simply put that it's easy to understand. In other words, he is all-knowing. He is knowledge itself. The cosmic knowledge is called the Supreme Soul or Purusha. How can we imagine it or visualize it? Imagine a circle. All of you, close your eyes. Imagine a circle, because that's how you can do it. You see the space within it and the space outside. Make sure you see that. The inner space is finite and the outer is infinite. If you accept the existence of a finite space, automatically you have to accept an infinite one. The moment you say, I am a man, there must be a woman. If you say left, there must be right. The thought of one implies the thought of the other. We feel that our minds and knowledge are limited and finite. So there must be a source of infinite knowledge beyond that. And that is God. You can open your eyes. Infinite. Beyond that. So we're infinite, and that's all infinite. And actually, Les gave a very good talk in the ashram a few years ago, and it was, there's no such a thing as nothing. You know, because there are many beliefs that there's nothing out there, and, you know, this is all there is. And this actually explains it. There's no such a thing as nothing. It is this, it is that, it is everything. We have a chant, a Sanskrit chant that explains this. Well, doesn't really explain it, but it says this. Punamidat, punamidan, punat punamudachate, punasya punamadaya, punameva vashishate. What does that mean? That is full. This also is full. This fullness came from that fullness. Though this fullness came from that fullness remains forever full. And that's a mantra from thousands of years ago. In other words, we come from the divine, we will go back to the divine. How many billions of years? I have no idea. I don't think anybody knows. The only thing we know is now. That's why it's important to make use of now. And enjoy those minutes of connection, you know. We all have them. When you feel so much love and peace in your heart and you sit maybe on a beach and you just look at sunrise or sunset, and there's just that kind of feeling. Keep it. Keep it in your heart. Remember it. It will help you through difficult times. But you need nature to help you. So please, please be in nature more and more. You need nature to help you. Nature's our friend. It is God. It is God. It is God everywhere. Hard to see it in human beings. Easier to see it in a bunch of flowers. What do? They grow. They make it so beautiful, themselves so beautiful. We pick it, we put it, give it to someone. And if we didn't pick it, it would die. Right or wrong? It would die. So the best compliment for a flower is to give it to somebody because you made its life worthwhile. It's there to give us beauty. And you see all these things in nature, and you watch the animals, and you watch the sky, and you watch the stars, and you watch people's eyes, and you watch people's natures, and you realize everything there is created for us to learn. But instead, we will always look for the worst and not for the best. And it's not wrong, but it disturbs our minds. If you know people are negative, stay away from them. Sri Patanjali keeps telling us that again and again. Why do you want to put yourself in the company of those people that make you feel miserable? Why? You have a choice and say, no, okay, when it's your family, then you have to learn how to do it. That's the practice for a long time, without a break. That's where you really have to practice. Outside world is easier than your family. So that's why they come to you, to make you practice, to see how much you can adapt, adjust, accommodate, or carry on blaming them. And if they don't want to shift, there's nothing you can do to make them shift. You have to walk away from the equation, gently and kindly. Gently and kindly. You don't have to do it in a bad way. You know, I once told somebody who treated me really badly, I'm really sorry if you treat me like this all the time. I don't feel good. So I'm sorry I can't be around you. Please forgive me. It's not their fault. I don't feel good. So I'm not going to do it to myself, am I? I respect the God in me. It's my weakness. So I'm not going there. I don't want to be in that energy field. I don't need to. I don't think that's unkind. I think I'm being very truthful. Because I have no time to waste on nonsense. None of us do. And much of it is so much self-pity and nonsense, don't you think? So much of it. So we can discard that by total devotion. So fill your heart with love. So this is the devotion. When you do that, there's something that opens in your heart. That's why we do little prayer ceremonies to open our heart up. This is Isvara, but we can only feel it here. So when you feel love, that comes up. That's why when you're in sorrow or when you go through a crisis or a trauma, it's black. It's black. It's like a black tunnel. But if you understand, it's the black tunnel because you've cut off that communication to light, right? Then you know it's only time and patience that will get you out of the black tunnel. But it's knowing this that gives you the will to carry on. So I'm going to be in a dark space, you say, for a little while. It's okay because I know there is light on the other side. It's okay. But if you don't know that, people sink right to the bottom, spend an entire lifetime. How many times did people come to me 72, 73, you know, in black tunnels for their whole life and don't know how to get out? I pray, I go to church, I do the religion, but you don't live the truth. Or you feel too guilty. You allow somebody to beat you up all your life and you think it's wrong to defend yourself. How can that be right? How can that be right? When we see battered people, we suffer for them. We suffer for them. So how can you allow somebody to batter you emotionally, physically, and think they have the right to do that? Where have we gone crazy? Oh, I'm a good wife or I'm a good husband. Are you really, or are you just weak? Weakness is not goodness. Please understand that. I have to keep telling people this. And of course, you know, goodness and kindness is wonderful. But don't allow people to step on you. That's also not kind. What they're doing is not kind. You also have to admit sometimes people are not kind. Doesn't mean you react like that. You just step away, like I said. And then when you step away, that's also kind of courage. That's why I encourage people to read the lives of the great saints. Why? Because it takes you back, whether you believe or don't believe, the teachings, the story, the parables, that's what we need to look at. What are they teaching us with our lives? We all know what it feels like when we do a good deed for somebody else. We all know what it feels like when we hurt somebody else. We hurt ourselves. We know it. So it's just a matter of training the mind to learn what to do and what not to do, when to walk away and when to face. Sometimes you have to face, that's the razor's edge. But always remember, what is important is the intention for the benefit of all, including yourself. Because you're part of the divine plan. If you are sick and you are not well, that means one cell in God's body is sick. But if you are well and you are happy, that means one healthier cell to help the others that are not so healthy. We keep the balance of the earth. That's what we can do. We keep the balance. Now the balance has gone like that. Corrupt, governments are sorry, corrupt religions, corrupt. It exists. You just have to look everywhere you go. It's all about money and it's never about the people. If it was about the people, everybody walked into the hospital will get the best treatment ever because they would pay the nurses and the doctors the most to look after people. And you get treatment, not told wait 8 hours and you could be dead in those 8 hours. Where is their love? Where there's kindness? schools should be there to teach people to live the great truths. Service, kindness, goodness. When we were young, I was very happy to go to a convent school. We had to say please, thank you, sorry, which I think are magic words. Now, nobody wants to say sorry. A child does something wrong to the parent, they won't say sorry. So why won't you say sorry? You're absolutely rude to your parent. I said, that's pride. And who's suffering? You creating an argument at home because you won't say sorry, or you won't say thank you when something good is done for you. Who do you think you are? Do you see what I'm saying? All this needs to be brought back. Kindness, service, understanding. So, and then when you have that in your life, then you understand Isvara is with you. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, it says, whoever lives like this is my true devotee. And to that devotee will lack nothing, because I will always be with that devotee. So devote yourself to the divine, wherever you see it, wherever you can. And slowly, slowly, as you practice in meditation, you need quiet time, because that's the only time you can be with you. If you're so busy talking, going to this and going to that and going to this course and that course, or this thing and that thing and that thing, and doing, where is the quiet time? When are you going to get to connect? When are you going to connect? Got to connect. You don't give it the time, you're not going to get the result. And that's what Sri Patanjali tells us. I'll just finish with this. 26. Unconditioned by time, he is the teacher of even the most ancient teachers. And next week I will continue to explain that too. And this is why we have the avatars. That's why we have Buddha. That's why we have Jesus. That's why we have the modern avatars as well. It comes from the source throughout the generations. Bhagavad Gita as well. Wherever there's unrighteousness, do not worry. I will step in with righteousness. We've seen it throughout history, right? Whenever the things have been so bad, First World War, Second World War, there's always a healing. And then there's a great period after that till we forget again. And then there's another war, and then we have to face all the horror. Who created it? We allowed it. Because we lived so well, at least my generation really haven't seen a huge war like my father had. You know, he was shot by my uncle was shot by the Japanese, and my father saw that, and he was beaten up. You know, we didn't go through anything like that. And so we just take everything for granted, as we do, human beings. Everything taken for granted, no appreciation. And I see many people who do that the moment of when they're about to get diagnosed with a terrible disease. They go, oh, I have done what I came to do. So don't make it too late for yourself. Every minute is great.